If I had to talk about the GUESSST survey, one of the findings was that 63% of student ventures receive university support, but only 26% of them actually make it to the incubator. Did you have this similar experience?
Yes, a lot of students have interest basically in entrepreneurship, but 26% is a big number still, I'll say. That many number also can make it. But because we understand that not many can become entrepreneurs. Because to become entrepreneur is not just innovation, it's a mindset also. Because entrepreneurship is all about innovation first. Opportunity, you have to see in what sector that you will go and whether you want to become entrepreneur or not. Because more the people you actually give chances to, there are more possibilities that they will fail, but they'll bounce back also. So we know that a good team will sell through whatever it is, because 90% of the students still want that guaranteed, the bent of mind basically wants some kind of protection, some kind of security all the time.
Tell us more about the e-cell at IIT Bombay and how that preceded the other entrepreneurial activities from the institute level.
So student ECL is a very important unit of the ecosystem.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Guest Cloud interviews. Today we have with us a veteran, Professor Milind Atrey from IIT Bombay. Professor Milind Atrey has played a key role in leading the entrepreneurship ecosystem development at IIT Bombay, having been the faculty in charge for SINE, that is IITB's technology business incubator, the co-principal investigator for the Desai Sethi Center for Entrepreneurship, now Desai Sethi School of Entrepreneurship. So in the early stages, Professor Athre was the co-PI, and then he was Dean R&D, heading the Industrial Research and Consultancy Center, that's IRCC. And presently, Sir is the Deputy Director, Academics, Research and Transition at IIT Bombay and INOX Chair Professor, HAG of Cryogenics. Professor Atrey has a couple of international patents to his credit, and Sir is a keen supporter of students' entrepreneurial efforts. So today we are looking to gain his insights from policy, culture, and innovation ecosystems in academic institutions. So yes, good evening, sir, and
Good.
welcome. Any opening remarks from your side, sir?
I think my opening remark will be the entrepreneurship at any institute depends on the ecosystem, and this ecosystem is not just the incubation center or any other thing or the money, for example, but it is starts from the place where students live and how students talk to each other, their mess tables, their coffee houses, to department, to the way they study, the way they plan their activities in life, and of course the role models that they have. So role models play a very important part of the ecosystem. They should see somebody on their floor in the hostel has become a successful entrepreneur. If not successful, has become an entrepreneur first. And that is from where the driving potential comes. So I think it's very important that the ecosystem, right from the place where you live and right from the first year that you get admitted to the institute, and the fourth year that you come out later, and you make a very conscious choice of your decision of starting a company rather than getting absorbed in a campus placement. So this transition has to be a natural transition. It cannot be organized in planned. It becomes a natural developmental thought process that I will be doing this only, and that starts happening somewhere down second year or third year. We start seeing the success for the role models, and also the ecosystem of any institute drives them in that way. So I think the ecosystem of an institute plays a very important role.
Okay. So since you brought in the ecosystem right in the beginning, let me lay out broadly what we are going to be talking about during the next 40 minutes or so. So on the first we will have it in 4 parts. And the first part is going to be what you started your comment with. That is about the ecosystem role models and students taking up this as a part of the development process, starting from their second year or third year. So we will look at a little bit of your experience from there, maybe a couple of examples that you saw students taking up, or anecdotes that you may want to share. We will look at the educator's perspective, research versus mentoring, and the trade-offs there, what kind of incentives, and so on and so forth. We will look at administrators, because from your lens as a leader in all these roles, and of course from entrepreneurs' viewpoints. Yes. So broadly, these four areas. The first, let us start with student entrepreneurs. So you mentioned that the ecosystem makes a big difference. So can you elaborate a little bit more on how can we develop a supportive, a fostering ecosystem for student entrepreneurship at an early stage, like second year of their studies or third year of their
Yeah.
undergrad?
Yeah. So let me, because I'm coming from IIT Bombay, I'll sort of limit my discussion to tech entrepreneurship, because that is what our focus has always been. That sort of getting into platform kind of a thing, I would like students to do with the technology entrepreneurship, which is what IIT Bombay would strive for. So the first thing about entrepreneurship is to make your hands dirty first. That means right from the beginning, start working on some hands-on work, basically. For example, now today we have got various possibility when the students get admitted. And as you know, when students get admitted to IIT Bombay, they are kind of burnt out on physics, chemistry, mathematics, because they come from JEE, and maybe they have spent extra hours having coaching classes, etc., etc. When they come here, they really want to go away from books. So the point is, can we expose them to some hands-on work? And from that point of view, we've got now some kind of micro factories on the campus. Uh, we have got places where they can actually work with their hands. We've got a program called Ideas, which has also been started by our alumni batches earlier. Contributions have come from alumni batches, where the students can actually, work with their hands and possibly have a small drone they can make, because this is something which are where they get a sense of some creativity. Can they make a small robots? Now everybody knows what robots will have. Basically, it will have some mechanical engineering, some electrical engineering, some IoT devices, some kind of a chip, some kind of a 3D printing, for example. So all these elements, if they can be exposed right in the first year, it makes a huge sense. And that is what we have done at IIT Bombay now. Instead of having workshop practices, we have replaced that and drawing, that what we had doing drawing with their hands. And there are no debate whether we should go by traditional way of teaching drawing by having a sheet and a pencil, or we can go on computer, because everywhere now computer is actually followed. So we've replaced these two courses by making something, hands-on work. What we call as, forgot the word, but it's kind of a micro factory basically, when the students actually, get divided into two batches and start developing a unit by itself. Let's say a robot or a drone or a chip or which will involve everything, which will require small drawing, which will require 3D printing, which will require assembly. And at the end of the day, when they get shown, it is for credit again. That means they have to pass this exam and they have to give a demo of the unit that they have done in the first semester. And some 600 students come in this semester, and the odd 600 students come in the following semester. So everybody get exposed to these technologies where they can do some soldering, some fixation of some sensor, and this cuts across all the branches. Again, that means you are from science or engineering, they will be getting exposed to making such things. So a sense of creativity comes right in the first semester, and they don't have to wait for third year to understand what is 3D printing. They don't have to come to third year to understand what is a chip, what is a controller, right? They don't have to understand. They don't have to wait for again third year to understand how a robotic arm would place something from place A to place B, and they don't have to really again wait to how to make a drawing, right? So they can actually get exposed to different softwares of doing small drawings, though, and small milling machines and lathe machines also, and all that combined together to make some kind of a product. So this sense of creativity is very important, and this is happening right in the first year. And this is where students get exposed to the terms like 3D printing, which they have heard of. In the by the 12th standard, they have heard of
Right.
this term, but they have never seen the 3D printer, for example.
Right.
A
Right.
metal 3D printer, a plastic 3D printer, nylon 3D printer. Then they have already small chip. Small chip can govern so many functions. They have never done. They can do software coding. And now you have got different branches, and students actually come together, and each one picks up something, and they actually work as a team also.
Right.
So imagine right in the first year, there are students at a batch of, let's say, 4 or 5 come together. Several batches get formed, and several batches get different assignments, and they come share their knowledge, talk to each other, right? Somebody writes code, somebody does 3D printing, somebody does 3D printing, somebody works with materials, somebody works on control systems, somebody works on assembly of all these things. And at the end of the day, they actually create some working model, and that is what their presentation will be. So this is making a huge difference, that they get exposed to all these things. And now in second year, these terms are not new to them. They actually can use these devices and can understand how to use a 3D printer. So they actually start understanding how to use these devices right in the first year. And from second year onwards, they can actually pick it up. Oh, I had made that small drone. It had only 10 minutes of life because the battery was very small. Let me now make a bigger battery, for example. Or it has got a weight capacity of only a few grams, 10 grams. But now I want to make a bigger drone because I would like to lift something from place A and take it to place B. So that means I will require bigger size of the drone, or a robot which will bring a cup of glass from that place to this place. How can I do? So all these thought processes get started right in the first year. Otherwise, they used to wait till third year to happen, basically, because by which time they would have done their drawing first, their workshop first, then some second year core courses of respective branches, and then third year, by which time possibly their thought process actually were actually clogged till that time, which has actually started right now thinking about all those processes right after the first year. This makes a huge ecosystem impact on the student to think about the direct product, which is very important. We are, of course, exposing them to different processes also, but what is more important is the sense, the joy of making a product. The joy of making a product they are getting exposed to in the first year itself. And I have seen that they are really bored of physics, chemistry, mathematics right in the first year. And we have got too much of, right from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, they have been studying all these courses. So can we not expose them to the workshop practice and the drawing in a different way, and create a joy of creating something new?
So are these core courses, or are they?
They are core courses. They are core courses.
Okay. And faculty led, right? Faculty gives them the projects.
An enormous number of faculty are working towards it. Faculty members are giving a lot of time. The batches of 6 faculty members from different branches, not only mechanical, electrical, they all come together. Because this course normally centered around mechanical, electrical, chemical also. So they all come together, and every department has given some 3-4 faculty members to conduct. And imagine all 1,400, 1,200 students of the entire first year students, cut between 2 halves of the semesters, and they are going through these. And there are a lot of TAs, who are teaching assistants, who help these students. So those who have undergone this training and those who are in second year, they are helping the first year students. So a huge change that we have done in last 4 or 5 years, that students and faculty member both. But we have understood, when we get a feedback now, everybody loves this course, and the feedback for this course have been fantastic.
Okay. So this is a key systemic enabler that has been introduced.
One of the changes, I should say.
One of the changes, right? More recently.
So that is why I will say that earlier, to become an entrepreneur was something they started thinking in the third year onwards. So here, this will expose them to the joy of possibly becoming a product centric, may not be entrepreneur, but at least, imagine new products. The moment they make some product, they can start thinking, oh, instead of this, can I do in the other way? So all those sense of technology, those things start right at the early age. Entrepreneur is something different, basically. To make ultimately, you want to make profit and you want to earn money and make money out of these things. But all these events actually at least expose them to different art of making a new product or thinking something new to achieve something new objective in engineering or technology.
So if you had to compare before and after for this change that you spoke about, Would you have any, would you be able to
So
give us a sense of the numbers?
yes, so I will say earlier on the top of the funnel, we had possibly 50 students or 100 students, out of which one or two would go for entrepreneurship. But today we have got 1,000 on the top,
Uh,
out of which, at least 25 to 50 or 100 at least will think to become an entrepreneur. So our funnel top has increased, and a lot of people will come down and start thinking about it right in the first year. So everybody is exposed to at least to the joy of making a new product,
right,
and
right,
that kind of.
right, right. So, as far as student entrepreneurship goes, IIT Bombay has been a role model and a leader for supporting and the ecosystem is what kind of is most attractive for entrepreneurship for students there.
Yes.
Um, would you say that there is anything that is blocking students from taking that one step
One step is to become entrepreneur.
to become an entrepreneur?
Well, there are several systems because ultimately students come from middle class or lower middle class also, and I know that many of these students have taken education loan.
Hmm.
So the first objective at the end of the fourth year is basically to complete some family responsibility, I will say. Second thing is because the loan they have taken education loan, the first priority is clear those loans, which is not an entrepreneur. If they become entrepreneur immediately after their fourth year or fifth year, they will not be able to take care of those things. There are a lot of students who, in spite of possibly want to become an entrepreneur, prefer a high-paying job to clear off those loans. And I'm talking about undergraduate students right now. However, IIT Bombay, I mean, if you want me to go to the master students and PhD students, it's a completely different ball game. So I will not talk about those right now. But if you talk about the undergraduate students, yes, there are two kinds of students who want to make money and who define success as making money, basically. So getting a good placement and getting a good job offer, when I say good package, so called, that is what the success defined as. But there are other class of students who may not need immediate money because of the background that they come from. And they're clear that they want to at least earn for their livelihood, if not for the family, but for themselves, which is where IIT Bombay has got different possibilities where the students can actually earn money good enough for oneself. That means he will not be unemployed, but he can try his hands on entrepreneurship. So he gets different schemes of government of India, Nidhi Prayas, etc., are there. A lot of students
Mm,
actually take advantage of uh, those schemes and get at least 40, 50,000 rupees per month and drive their innovation and start working toward their innovation also.
mm,
Uh, in IITs, there are a lot of students who can hang on to work with professors as different project staff, for example, after graduating also for various reasons. Especially those who want to become entrepreneurs, they can hang on after graduation. They can earn enough working on a project also, or during the same time they can start working on their product also. So that's a possibility number B, I will say. But once you are clear that you want to become entrepreneur or you are even interested and you get a slightest hint that I will enjoy this, the second year of IIT Bombay is a way place where you can actually start attending entrepreneurship classes.
mm,
So the DS school for entrepreneurship makes a huge difference here because that is where we believe that 300, 400 students get registered. And these are like-minded students. I mean, they have
mm,
come here as an additional optional subject now. All right, this is not a requirement for any degree. So they have come here and joined classes or minor degree program basically to get enrolled in an entrepreneurship education, which is not a must. And the fact that you have actually joined that course, that means you have got some interest. And
mm,
when the students under common interest have come together, and these students can be from mechanical, electrical, chemistry, physics, from any branches, computer science, and these students now can come together. And this is what is very important, according to me, for some kind of innovation to happen. When a
mm,
person from mechanical engineering talks to somebody from physics or talks to somebody from biosciences, they come together and start something completely new, and where the
mm,
innovations can happen. And DS School for Entrepreneurship is very entrepreneurship 101 class is a place where they start understanding what is business all about, what is a business canvas all about, how to
mm,
write what is an innovation, all those things
mm.
they can start thinking. And the sensing that opportunity, what you want to make, is the first revelation that, I can make a product which could possibly be of use to somebody. And that is
Right.
where you can start thinking about innovations.
Right. 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 So, if I had to talk about the guest survey, one of the findings was that 63% of student ventures receive university support, but only 26% of them actually make it to the incubator. Uh, did you have this similar experience?
Yeah. So I don't have the numbers to
Mm,
support this thing, but yes, a lot of students have been so interested basically in entrepreneurship, but 26% is a big number still, I'll say. If that many number also can make it, but because we understand that not many can become entrepreneur, because to become entrepreneur is not just innovation, it's a mindset also, and basically to the art of taking risks. And the art of taking risk is something which is your, this is your, what should I say, your personality.
right.
Are you good enough to take risks? So there are people who still, in spite of good innovator, they would like to join a company and do innovations there. But that innovation will not be there for, it will be company's innovation now. Basically, they're
Mm,
getting salary against that. So
mm,
there are students, however, who will not join industry but start innovating themselves and start and have their own startup. That class is different. So the risks that you can undertake is basically your personality, the way you are grown up, the family background that you come from. If your parents, somebody is already an entrepreneur or a business person, you have got more possibility of taking risk. I will say. So this is a different personality part altogether. Would like to become entrepreneur, but at least the basics of coming with innovation, because entrepreneurship is all about innovation first. Opportunity, you have to see in what sector that you will go, and whether you want to become entrepreneur or not is the second part of it, because then comes all other things that your personality, your backup, uh, economic positions, requirement from you, commitment from you towards your family, and all those things. So I will say even 26% can become entrepreneur. I mean, get into incubation thing also is not bad. So let's say out of 100, you say 63 people are interested, out of which 26 come to the. That's fine. Will not say
all
it's a
right.
bad number.
Right. So, is it also possible that the number comes down because of regulatory or policy guidelines for getting incubation? Maybe they don't qualify for incubation, but they still choose the entrepreneurial path.
See, come into incubation at IIT Bombay, for example, we gave them physical space for 3 years.
Mm,
But there are a lot of incubators who don't give physical space at all, basically,
mm,
and they
mm,
give only mentorship.
mm,
And I've seen several incubators. They say we have got 400 incubatee, but none of them are actually housed here.
mm,
And as you know, the incubator of IIT Bombay is full because we give them the office space, and where they can actually make their small processes. We got laboratories, and
mm,
therefore they are completely dependent on incubator basically for showcasing their product.
mm.
But when I'm just attached to an incubator, kind of a virtual incubator, basically, uh, there are a lot of people who will be attached to them like that also. What was your question?
Yeah. So, are there regulatory, so
Okay.
incubators
Yeah.
rules? Maybe they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah. Yeah.
qualify for incubation.
Yeah. So a lot of students, of course, now I understood. So when we say I would like to select only those startups which come under tech entrepreneurship,
Mm,
then we have got certain rules, because the fact that we give them space, that means one office gets blocked. We would like to sort of get it cleared from third party, and therefore we have got some rules and regulations at IIT Bombay, and that should
mm,
be at every place. If you've got plenty of space, I will, if possible, I would like to give space for everybody,
mm,
literally 1,000 people who apply, because more the people you actually give chances to, there are more possibility that they will fail, but they'll bounce back also. I mean, they should fail as early as possible, and they will bounce back as early as possible also. But I will always give chances to as many people who would like to become an entrepreneur, because we are limited in space. We actually want to just ensure that this is not just copy paste. This is
mm.
not something kind of a
Right.
me too, and
Right.
therefore we would like to see the innovative component of this. So we would
Right.
like the students to actually go back, first make a case study of what you want to do. Tell us exactly how many people are working in this area, what kind of business they see in this particular innovation. And are
Mm,
you doing something just because it is cheaper to manufacture something in India,
mm.
right? But we would like to see the innovative part of it. We would like to see the IP part of it. This is
Right.
something we have been very, very careful about. We would like everybody to first showcase to us, prove it to us that yes, this is innovation. And second thing is there is opportunity. If one goes into business for this will survive. This will be sustainable innovation for a long duration. So
Right.
that is second part of it. And third part of this also we want to see the team. So many times your A and B may not work, but you have a good team. So we know
Mm,
that a good team will sell through whatever it is. Your first level product, what you have thought about, may not even work. And I will like to give you one example of this. For example, Idea Coach, today's IPO now, who actually came with a completely different product
mm,
to begin with, or even
abs-
Sedimat,
mm,
they come with a different product to begin with, but then they all change their products, right? They all got pivoted over a period of time. And
mm,
frankly, because of the team that they had, the fantastic team that they had, due to their potential, they could actually go to product B, which also failed, and therefore they could come with product C, which sold. So if
mm,
your team is good, so therefore an incubatee or incubator should actually take care of not only the innovation, not only the kind of opportunity and future scope of it, but more importantly will be the team. Because this team, if it is strong and good enough, they can sell through first A and B also. So this is what the limitations, this is what the incubator would like to see through first,
mm,
assure to themselves that yes, these are the people who actually can sell through, and they will
mm.
stand the test of time, and then only they will see that yes, you are in, basically. So many times I have seen, of course we don't allow any app business to come in just because you want to book some bus ticket during app and all that, unless at the core of which is everything is technology. This is we would like to ensure, because technology is something that we believe our mandate is at IIT Bombay, and uh, we don't have otherwise uh, a company which has no technology at the core of it.
Right. Right. So let's shift the lens towards the larger landscape in the country. So IIT Bombay obviously is the creme de la creme, but how can institutions with lower resources achieve uh, goals of entrepreneurship and innovation with their limited access? Any thoughts on that? Because you also understand the larger
Yeah,
landscape of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
country.
So the larger landscape is also responsibility of IITs and NITs and other colleges now. Things are changing very fast now. I would like to see that SINE is our business incubator, and so are the other bigger IITs have. They all should now work in hub and spoke model. So we have got a hub at IIT Bombay, let's say, but we should have spokes at various colleges or various districts also, because now we have got an established process. Why not we teach the trainers there also now? We train the teachers at different spokes and create sign at various places. This
Mm,
is our responsibility, and this is what a bigger institute should do now. The tier 2, tier 3 cities should have their dues, should have their incubators also. I feel that these all incubators now start working. The successful incubator should start working in a hub and spoke model. And the government of India should note that, you can't have only one sign, but you have to have 1,000 signs. So can they
correct.
give us funding? And we have got now all the processes in place. So what you
Mm,
have to do is basically, go to tier 2 city like Nasik, for example, where I believe that in every tier 2, tier 3 cities, innovations are happening. Because, you see different opportunities in different cities. And the
mm,
moment you see different opportunities, you come with different way of solutions.
mm.
And always those solutions are innovative because they know the problem statement very well. So, right, in order now to support those innovations, a incubator like SINE actually should see the kind of solution they have developed and promote the thing. And they don't have to then worry about the funding possibly or how to take it ahead. And the moment they feel that yes, tier 3 solution has reached a particular level, bring them to SINE, bring them to tier 1 now, SINE. So this hub and spoke model is very important. And the in charge of this other spokes should get trained at SINE.
Hmm, hmm.
So similarly at IIT Madras, if you got a bigger incubator, they should have now different spokes. And I think government of India definitely should study this model. We should have thousands of SINE and thousands of other incubators, so that one practice becomes common, as a time-tested practice gets
Mm,
followed everywhere,
mm,
and the
mm,
benefit of every scheme reaches down to the core, to everybody basically.
mm.
And we are in position sitting down here to see what is the innovation happening down the. So the moment we sense there is innovation, bring possibly him up the ladder and try to bring him and help him or her in the best possible manner. So I
Right.
think the solution for all these things and the bigger landscape is basically right now, I feel, is a
Mm,
vendor spoke model. We can't
right.
be selfish sitting at IIT Bombay and taking advantage of all the funds sitting down here. We have also our responsibility of going down to each and every city or each and every college. Of course, we need more and more trained manpower, which we can do training here sitting at IIT Bombay. But
Mm,
what is more important is all those students who are actually sitting in tier 2 and tier 3 cities can actually equally contribute to more and more innovations.
right.
Because problems are plenty, and more problems, more opportunities, and more innovations. I believe in that
Right.
word.
Right. So this would work towards consolidating innovation happening within the country, in the
Yes,
hinterland, and also
absolutely,
bring them to the fore. Right.
absolutely,
And we
absolutely.
can obviously engage the industry for support and sponsorship and
Yes, so
CSR, probably CSR.
absolutely correct,
Mm,
correct,
mm,
correct. The
mm,
money can come from some part from government, some part from CSR, some
mm,
from industry, and some part from local, stakeholders
mm.
also. Let the local
So
colleges also have to spend some money there.
exactly, exactly. But this wouldn't apply only for incubation. I think when we talk entrepreneurship in all these institutes, they're all looking at employment more than entrepreneurship.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So probably the entrepreneurship education also needs to percolate in
That's
the
a part
same
B.
spirit, right? Mm,
That's the part B. So once
mm,
you have, see, all everybody is waiting for some role model, as I said. The moment
mm,
there is I mean, 2005, we had no education till 2016, right? DS school
mm,
came into existence by 2015 and 16. Till that time, students were there, but then
mm,
now number suddenly has increased
mm,
basically because the students have entrepreneurship has become a word, everybody's word right now. But in
mm,
2005 and 6, hardly anybody was talking about entrepreneurship. So moment
mm.
we see one or two role models and moment we see success, I'm sure students will start jumping. Even tier 3 cities, somebody becomes successful, I'm sure other students will also be interested. Yeah, but there
Mm.
are, see, as I said, not that everybody would like to become entrepreneur. You know, let's say 5% of the students only would like to become entrepreneur. This number can be increased to 6%, 7%, can possibly swell up to 10%, but not more than that. Because 90% of the students still want that guaranteed, no, the the bent of mind basically wants some kind of a protection and some kind of security all the time because of the kind of family they come from. So
Mm.
yes, that always will be there. But more and more students start jumping into entrepreneurship. I'm sure it will have a cumulative effect.
Right, right. So one more data point from what I had said earlier, when we say that 38% of students engage in venture creation, as per the guess findings, these are often led by the student e-cells, which are a student body. Tell us more about the e-cell at IIT Bombay and how that preceded the other entrepreneurial activities from the institute level.
So student ECL is a very important unit of the ecosystem. And there
Mhm,
are almost 300, 400 students working in this ecosystem, which not only organize the lectures of eminent speakers who understand business, who are successful entrepreneurs, role models, who talk very well about venture creation, etc., etc. And of course, the failed entrepreneurs also come down there, but they are also organize here what we call as e-summit or a festival for entrepreneurship. So, in order to celebrate success, what we have started doing, as you know, Aparna, is basically to have e-summit, which is again organized by e-summit, organized by
mhm,
e-sale, and also showcasing of student-led innovations that happen here,
mhm,
and how to pitch. For example, the students also organize small workshops of how to pitch in front of 2-minute pitch and 10-minute pitch, and student-led competition about showcasing your innovation basically, or uh, call the investors and pitching in front of the investors, right there, and get paid for that also. Of course, this is
Right.
all marketing gimmick, but this is what has started happening here. And then they showcase all the innovations that have happened not only at IITs but other places also. And the students from all over India are called here, and the common binding theme for all of them is basically innovation and entrepreneurship. So student e-sale are regularly organizing lectures. That is a student club. They discuss entrepreneurship, but they are all limited to undergraduates mostly. I'll say that thing. But yes, undergraduates still are 6,000 at IIT Bombay, 6,000 students at IIT Bombay, and this is doing very well. So e-sale is definitely doing wonderful thing. It has been doing wonderful things since so many years, and the fruits are just coming out. But I will say that it is still limited to undergraduate students. I have not yet talked about the postgraduate students, which is a different ball game at IITs. But as you understand, 60% of the students at IITs are now postgraduate students. So you got a MTechs and PhD together, almost 7,000 students. And these are the students who definitely, if they become entrepreneur, we become tech entrepreneurs. And the third class, which we are not yet talked about, is the faculty themselves.
Right.
And if you want to ask me questions later, I will wait for that question. But eSale normally, therefore, is responsible for mostly undergraduate or dual degree students to motivate them, to expose them to different entrepreneurs, to understand from alumni-led entrepreneurs, and organize successful entrepreneurs panel discussion, for example. And regular events are happening here, basically. And they are feeding into even DS School for Entrepreneurship, good showcasing of event where DS School for Entrepreneurship also taking part. And as I said, e-summit is a very important character of this. In addition to that, we've got several events like Tech Fest, for example, a technology festival. So e-summit is basically for entrepreneurship, but Tech Fest is a very important event that happens in IIT Bombay, where various technology-led initiatives and various products, not only by IIT Bombay, but by different companies are showcased here, at international level, and very good talks happen. Nobel laureates visit during these processes. So students get exposed to all this, tech domain very early in their life. And then they can actually see the success, that how somebody has become very, very important person in his life, though he comes from a very middle class background, but just because he was actually, continued to do something throughout. And stuck to particular innovation over a period of time and did some changes and pivoting, etc., has reached to the top of the innovation activity. So these are all very important events. These are actually, once get exposed, your mind notices that thing, and students start talking about a particular person or a company or an initiative amongst themselves. And IIT Bombay being a residential school, which is very important, I think one of the major success points of IITs is that they are 24/7. All the students are staying with each other. They are not going home, right? It's not a 9 to 5 that after 5 p.m. nobody sees each other. And a lot of these ideas get thought about and discussed in the hostel over the dinner table, for example, or in the nights. And this is definitely one of the reasons, I will say, very important reasons that why IITs have more entrepreneurs today is basically because of the life on the campus, which is completely residential in nature.
Right. So you did mention faculty, so let's segue to that part of the faculty role in supporting entrepreneurs. Uh, Faculty are usually pressed for time between their academic teaching, their research, and obviously the commitments that they have to have for research. So how do they balance their time, and is there any incentive for faculty to support entrepreneurs? Is there any incentive for student faculty to mentor entrepreneurs, or do they do it out of interest?
No. There's a support on every count. So faculty member, of course, let's say I've got 15 PhD students, and every PhD student doing something new. We are filing patents basically. And none of the faculty members would like that their newly driven idea or a patent is just sitting in the laboratory doing nothing. So ultimately, everybody will be happy to see that whatever they thought about, whatever technology they developed or whatever product they developed should be to the public at large. This is what everybody's dream is. And therefore, one way of taking this is basically licensing their technology to the industry. Should the industry be interested? Yes. Then actually, Dean R&D office will help me, and whatever technology I have developed will be given to the industry, against which we'll get royalty. That is one way of doing, which is called licensing. But second thing is, if I were to use it myself, I have to start a company. And as you said rightly, yes, professors are hard pressed for time for their work, but then the PhD student could be interested. That is very important. So the student with whom I work actually also living in the same ecosystem where he knows the value of tech startup, for example. So if the student now takes a front seat and the faculty takes a back seat, this student and most of the students are now interested. If we understand, if he or she understand the idea of that or the senses the opportunity for a business around the technology for a product that they have developed, they are interested in taking it ahead. As a result of which today, at least 10% of professors at IIT Bombay have their companies, which is a completely different scenario than what it was, let's say, 5 years back. 5 years back. So today, almost 70, big number. So out of 750 professors that we have today, faculty members, at least 80 professors have got their company, and that's a very big number. And that is with their MTech or a PhD students. And when your master student and PhD student gets into entrepreneurship, it is definitely tech oriented, and therefore we give more importance now. And at IIT Bombay, we are given naturally more importance to masters and PhD students because we believe that they are the students who will drive their tech entrepreneurship. Well, the undergraduates still are interested in big salary packages, etc., etc. But definitely 5% of them are interested in immediately to become entrepreneurs also. With the advent of AI, ML, more and more students at undergraduate levels are getting interested because that is something absolutely novel right now. But when it comes to MTech and PhD and now postdoc, can you imagine we've got 400 postdocs on the campus today? So we got around 3,600 MTech students, around 4,000 PhD students, and 500 postdoc students. So this is a big number. This almost makes 7 or 8,000, researchers, and they're all tech researchers.
Correct.
And just imagine even 10% of these become entrepreneurs.
Right.
That is a big number, and that is where now we are making a big dent. Coupled with this, because these are the students who are at advanced age. For example, somebody becomes PhD at the age of 30. Now he wants or she wants to get some kind of a family protection and a basic salary also, right? And therefore, we are looking at various possibilities and various schemes where such supports can be given. But more importantly, we believe that these are the possible entrepreneurs for tomorrow, and where faculty members do take pride now in having their own companies. And they said, at least, and with the advent of electric vehicle, hydrogen, semiconductor, quantum computing, I believe more and more because nobody was working in this domain earlier. So new technologies are coming, and IIT Bombay has become a good ecosystem now. And I believe that more and more students, more and more faculty plus students as a team are coming to become, but they are definitely going to be tech entrepreneurs now, and that's where we see a lot of potential in the future. And in addition to this, the government has started playing very important role because every funding now is coming with some kind of a startup grant, because the success of every funding for a different project is basically the first question is asked, how many startups have come from this? For example, semiconductor, for example, material science, the question also is asked, how many startups have come? So it's very important that startups do come out. We need more and more PhDs and MTechs who would work with professors. And as you said, what are the incentive for professors? Yes, I got equity in my company. So I can't draw the salary, but I can build up my assets. The company can grow with time. And even if I don't have a equity in a company, if I'm even mentoring a company, I can hold equity in a company because students cannot give you money consulting funds. So I can become. So there are now policies we have actually framed at IIT Bombay, wherein a professor, if some student want to start a company, fine. And if student want one professor to do mentoring or a consulting work for him or her, and he cannot give money because it's a startup, he can give equity, and we allow even that You can give some kind of equity, a very small equity, of course, but that
Hmm.
is in lieu of consultancy, the professor is giving, which is also admissible in IIT Bombay's policy now. So there's a lot
Hmm.
of policy changes that we have made so as to
Hmm.
promote more and more professors to become entrepreneurs and
Hmm.
to become more and more professors to become mentors also, if not entrepreneurs themselves.
Right.
But definitely we would like more and more MTechs and PhD to take up entrepreneurship. And the
Hmm.
fact that I become an entrepreneur, my
Hmm.
next PhD students also get a very applied statement for
Hmm.
research.
Correct.
Even the
Hmm.
professors do change over a period of time. So
Hmm.
once you know that you sense, oh, there's a product now, but then there are problems. The next
Hmm.
problem is shown to the next student, and
Hmm.
that problem become more and more applied in nature. And
Hmm.
ultimately, even the students start thinking that I should also have my company because he has seen the professor working in a company and balancing both the things. So
Right.
earlier for PhD, the only option was to become academician.
Hmm.
Did not that be the only option. He
Hmm.
or she can possibly become an entrepreneur also. At least they start
Right.
thinking about it, and that kind of confidence that they see when their fellow PhD colleague also has become entrepreneur.
Right. So do these problem statements come from the industry to the professor, because professors are also consulting with the industry for.
It could be mix from various
Hmm.
places because
Hmm.
the professors are coming with good experience from industry, from abroad. So the
Hmm.
problem statements are known to them. It starts with some kind of a grant that comes from some project,
Hmm.
and slowly it gets converted to a sensing an opportunity. So if
Hmm.
it is coming from industry, naturally industry will hold equity in that company then. So naturally these ideas are original ideas for professors, but that can
Hmm.
be sensed by various funding that he or she may have got from DST, DBT to begin
Hmm.
with also.
Right. Right. So one of the vision statements with from India is that they are looking at 280 unicorns by 2030, particularly driven by student ventures in AI, SaaS, and clean tech. What's your take on it? We are in 2025.
Well, I will not say unicorns.
Hmm.
Unicorns is I mean, we are not working to make them unicorn, but that will effectively will happen automatically if our
Hmm.
processes are correct.
Huh.
If your framework is correct, then this will automatically happen. But
Hmm.
for this framework to be correct, I say at the top of the funnel I should have 10,000 startup. I should have 10,000 students on the top, and therefore at least 200 will come out. So
Hmm.
I will expect that more and more students and faculty members should get into this,
Hmm.
should get chance into this, and that is why I said hub and spoke model will work, because not
Right.
one institute cannot feed into everything, but there are
Hmm.
distributed efforts have to come in.
Hmm.
So one institute like IIT Bombay cannot do all these things. It has only
Hmm.
two arms. Let's say we have to
Hmm.
have at least 100 arms. So not only IITs, I say NITs, for example, or central universities,
Hmm.
medical schools,
Hmm.
all this therefore have to focus on entrepreneurial aspect. For example, I don't see any entrepreneurship aspect coming from medical college.
Hmm.
I mean, hardly. Course, they must have started now, but I don't see innovations or something. The
Hmm.
basic, right from the first year, everybody wants to become doctor only, right? But there
Right.
is so much of healthcare requirement that we know that should happen.
Right.
And we
Right.
as mechanical engineers should at least understand the doctor's problem. So if you can actually change the surgeon's devices, somewhere, but I should understand what the surgeon wants. So
Right.
all these things can happen when we start collaborating. But I don't
Right.
see those innovative aspects, at least I've not heard of, and something has started definitely, maybe at very high level at AIMS, etc., etc. But I've not seen a doctor driven by entrepreneur, for example. They want to put in money, they want to invest money, but
Hmm.
I've not seen a doctor, MBBS doctor or MD doctor, what. However, there are of course exceptional exceptions, and I've seen
Hmm.
those. But the way
Hmm.
it has been happening in engineering colleges or
Hmm.
IITs, I don't see
Hmm.
that happening in medical colleges because everybody
Hmm.
want to become doctor ultimately and do the
Hmm.
regular practice.
Right.
So if this has to happen and these are the numbers that we are talking about, we have to have more and more cross linkages.
Right.
The engineers have to make the doctors to understand because today in SINE we have got a 60% startups around healthcare,
Hmm.
and healthcare seems to be very interesting for her, and they're all driven again by image processing, AI, ML, etc., etc.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when I see 100 X-rays, if my AI ML can within no usage of doctors can tell me that this day next day, they actually can come to a judgment also, which is 95% correct, maybe. that kind of a thing. So I don't require so much of manpower to be actually spending that much of time to come to some kind of a diagnosis. So it will be very simple, but for which training has to be given. Training is required. Students, therefore, from medical fraternity actually have to come together with the engineering students, and they are the ones who will do it together. So these
Right.
cross linkages, I would like to understand, for example, accounting. If I'm to come with AI ML with accounts balance, I should understand the core expertise here accounts and not AI.
Correct.
So
Correct.
therefore, accounts
So,
person from commerce college or a CA should come together and sit with the person who understands AI ML.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
We have got
Correct.
digital
Correct.
healthcare on the campus right now. So your data from various hospitals have to come to us so that we can actually conclude from that data as to what is wrong with the patient. So if we are talking about big number, the cross linkages should happen. The collaborations should start happening at the topmost level. And such 10,000 collaborations on the top of the funnel would result in 100 companies. And then they
Right.
will actually flourish and the unicorns will start happening. So
Right.
the for me, therefore, I feel that the business incubators should not be only in engineering colleges, but they should be at medical colleges, as commerce colleges, and science colleges also. But then they all should work in hub and spoke
Tandem.
model, right?
Mm. Mm.
And where deliberate attempts have to be done by the respective heads of these business incubator to come to bring them together, have
Mm.
more and more presentation
Mm.
together, and
Mm.
somebody from Mumbai should start working. Somebody from, let's say, Hyderabad, they should come
Mm.
together, and
Mm.
then they file the overlap, and there's a common interest in, let's say,
Correct.
healthcare.
Correct.
So we should start sensing such people of common interest and bring them together, and that will
Mm.
bring the innovation. Because what I have done is coupled with somebody else has done, what she has done, then that
Mm.
together actually will make a complete
Make
difference,
a bigger, absolutely, absolutely.
and
So
that
you're
will be more
Mm.
disruptive in nature in that case also.
Correct. You're consolidating efforts and resources, and at the same time amplifying the impact.
Yes, and somebody has to
Mm.
therefore document. When all these
Mm.
people are getting connected, everything
Mm.
will get nicely documented
Mm.
also.
Mm.
When I look at different possibilities, therefore it will get coupled together also.
Correct. Correct. I get that. I get that. So, you did speak about risk earlier, and I wanted to come back to that point, the capability to take risk. What kind of and IIT Bombay somehow has kind of what I would call a holistic approach towards development for
Yeah.
student personality, student mindset, also their mental well-being, because you did speak about how they would prefer to do a hands-on course rather than study theoretical programs like what that they have been studying from 8th standard onwards.
Yeah.
So what kind of signals can institutions send to students about risk and failure?
So I think risk and failures at IIT Bombay will be different than risks at other colleges also, because here at IIT we know that even if I fail, my degree will fetch me a job.
Mm.
It's very important that I got a degree from a good place, and therefore a failed entrepreneur still will get a job should he
Mm.
or she decide that, okay, bye bye to entrepreneurship, I can't be a good entrepreneur, and let me look for a job.
Mm.
The second part, however, if you come from some college, a non-college, and you have got a degree, again, could be relevant degree, non-relevant degree, where the risk-taking attitude may not be there. So what I'll believe in these cases, they have to take a job, even though they feel that they can be good entrepreneurs, but they have to start working towards it. And now we have got we got various programs to basically have online education of entrepreneurship also. So this is where I
Okay.
will believe that these students should be exposed to understand entrepreneurship program. They're
Mm.
not see if they're not interested in, if they're a tier two or tier three cities, risk taking ability will be less because they have not
Mm.
been sort of mentored properly, right?
Mm.
The mentoring is
Right.
required, and for
Right.
which they require more time.
Right.
And therefore, instead of becoming immediately an entrepreneur, if he has if he or she is definitely interested in to become an entrepreneur, let's have more mentoring for them, and
Mm.
for which again I feel teaching of entrepreneurship, online way of teaching is happening right now at IIT Bombay also. We are starting various programs which could possibly be online in nature, and there are a lot of people who actually have been to industries now,
Mm.
but they
Mm.
having done of 5 year service or 10 year service, they would like to do some mid-time correction also in their lives, where
Right.
they would like
Right.
to become entrepreneurs. So a lot of our alumni, having made some money for their family for next 5 years, would like to become entrepreneur, because now your risk taking ability has doubled. I mean, you can take more risks now, because you have reached a stage where you can take a break of 2 years, for example, and try something. If
Right.
not, they are capable enough to go back also. So I
Right.
believe in those
Mm.
cases where they can't take risk right now, wait for a moment, work for 3 or 4 years. During this period, get exposed or get mentored by a correct person or a correct institution. And when you feel that you got that much of now breadth and width, during this time start thinking about what kind of venture that you would like to have, basically.
Right. So build
But
build
then
parallel. So start working and build a pathway on the way
absolutely,
alongside.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
But somebody has to mentor them. Somebody in
Mm.
their district, wherever they are working, they have to actually guide them as to
Correct.
work in such a place that their interest and that work matches.
Mm.
That kind of thing. If I knew that I want to do something like tomorrow in healthcare, I start working in a healthcare related area to begin with,
Correct.
at least.
Correct. Mm. It's very interesting that you said this because even in the guest findings, it was when we asked students, where do you see yourselves 5 years down the line? 31% point four of them actually said that they were looking at ventures post 5 years, after 5 years of
Oh, very good, very good.
work experience. So yes, very interesting that you said this. I will kind of have one last question for you on this. How can alumni networks strengthen the net ecosystem, and how can institutions build such kind of strong networks with alumni? So it's a double-barreled question for you.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Mm.
as I said, why are we successful in having good alumni network? We've got 75,000 or 80,000 alumni today all over the world.
Mm.
But the success of all that goes to, as I said, we were residential school. We are residential school. And therefore, at least for 4 or 5 years, you spend your time together. And of course, everybody believes that institute has, contributed for their success, definitely contributed toward their success. And they always feel that they have to give back to the institute. They always feel. As I said, the first door gets opened for me the moment I say I'm IIT Bombay alum. The door,
Mm.
first time the door gets opened for me, next time will not be. But at least
Mm.
the first door gets opened, and that's a good enough uh, thing that every institute can offer to their alumni. So very importantly, the alumni, if the alumni have to give back, the institute also become that worthy. I mean, the institute also make themselves good enough that the moment I say I am from college A and college B, that brings, I'm very proud. For example, the alumni should feel proud of their colleges. That is A. Second thing is as I said, residential. More and more time they spend together, they become more attached to the school also, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
C, we are using all our successful entrepreneur. We are not, when I say using means not in literally using, but we are requesting them to give lectures to our students. And now we want them to talk about, to counsel them, to to help them plan their career also. So career guidance is very important. Many
Mm-hmm.
times students today, feel that if I'm not a 9 pointer, I will not get jobs. But there are
Mm.
so many alumni who themselves can tell, look, I was 6 pointer, but I become very successful.
Mm.
These students would like to always love to hear such stories, that I was
Correct.
not a very good student as you are not been. I was a
Mm.
6.5 pointer, but
Mm.
still things change within 1 year after that.
Mm. Mm.
These are the very important things, that not that 9.5 pointer only person, he can fail also, but a 6.5 pointer person also can, sail through and can do wonderful work.
Mm.
Students require this confidence, and they want proper case studies. They don't want hypothetical case studies. So
Right.
when such alumni actually come forward and talk to the student literally one on one, sometimes
Mm. Mm.
this is a huge career guidance that happens to
Mm.
the students. So
Mm.
one is, of course, the successful entrepreneurs can talk to them,
Mm.
and successful entrepreneurship talks to them not formally, but possibly goes
Mm.
in the hostel, or possibly
Mm.
talks to them in the canteen itself.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So one is a formal thing, but second is informal, which works wonders actually.
Right.
And then we plan to have such sessions
Mm.
of our alumni, and we are actually committing time from various alumni right now who would like
Mm.
to talk to our students,
Mm.
because as you say, a lot of IITs have got some unfortunate cases today. The student cannot stand the pressure of academic failures, for example. Today we would like
Correct.
such more and more alumni connect, and we would like more and more alumni to guide the student, to sell them
Mm.
through, and to give them career guidance. So one of
Mm.
which is entrepreneurship, and
Right.
second one is to give them confidence that even if they fail, they can do wonders. And a
Right.
lot of alumni have got their companies.
Mm.
So we would like to request those alumni to actually take the student under their wings uh, for internship, which is very important.
Mm.
We are sometimes somehow neglected internship in the past, but I believe now when you intern with a company right in the third year, there are more chances that you will get absorbed in those companies.
Mm. Mm.
Because I've seen the kind of pressure the students are going through when the placement starts happening.
Mm.
The kind of they're absolutely under stress because they are not getting company A, company B, or company C.
Mm.
But the chances are much more there if right in the third year they do
Mm.
internship at good companies, they will get absorbed there. And
Mm.
that way the pressure in the fourth year will start coming down. But still,
Right.
the placement is equated with success, as I said earlier, because it comes
Mm.
with package. We would
Right.
like to less burden that. I've seen the stresses
Reduce. Mm.
generated in students in the final year,
Right.
and I'm talking this about for not for PhD student, but mostly for undergraduate and MTech students. So
Mm.
career guidance is a very important thing. At the same time, internship is a very important shift which alumni can actually help the students undergo.
Right. 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 So, yes, that was a very rich interview, sir. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time.
I
Uh,
hope I was not prepared for any questions or any answers, but I thought
Correct.
give
Correct.
the answers
It
to
came
my.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So, in fact, this is only the first of the interview series, and I'm
I
sure
see.
first of the interview series, meaning we have interviewed Professor Anand Kusre, Raj Jaswa, and others
Mhm.
also, and we
Yeah,
have spoken to some entrepreneurs, and we are going to have more. But this is the first version of interviews. And from this, once we look at the data, there will be some more questions that will come back. And I hope you don't mind me coming back to you with some questions that we may have
not a problem.
eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, most welcome. Yeah,
Yes.
all
So,
right.
mm,
Thanks.
I'll